Okay, be honest. Have you ever stalked your ex online and thought, what if, what if I could just hit rewind?
Oh, absolutely. Breakups, they bring up so many emotions, loss, regret. You start thinking about what could have been. It's only natural that wanting to get back together is tempting.
Yeah, totally. And that's what leads us to our deep dive today. So, you sent over this guide, 20 proven steps to get your ex back and keep them forever. I mean, 20 steps. It's incredibly detailed, and honestly, some of it made me wonder.
It's really interesting to see these guides try to combine, real psychology with what you could call a more strategic approach to relationships. Like some of it really resonates, but then other parts, well, we'll get to that.
Let's jump right in. This one step that stood out to me was be unpredictable and exciting. They actually say, your ex already knows who you were, and it wasn't enough to keep them. Ouch, right.
Yeah, they didn't sugarcoat that one.
No, not at all. But then they suggest things like taking up new hobbies, rediscovering old passions. It almost makes you think, is this about genuine growth or just like a performance?
But that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, becoming a more well-rounded and passionate person, that's appealing to anyone.
Yeah.
But why are you doing it? Are you making these changes for you or just to get a reaction out of your ex?
It's the difference between wanting to impress someone and, genuinely wanting to grow. And speaking of sending mixed messages, how about this one? Don't show weakness or desperation. Okay, so emotional resilience, that's important, but this feels almost, I don't know, cold, calculated.
It's a tough balance. Having healthy boundaries is one thing, but projecting this like manufactured persona, that's different.
Mm.
When someone's truly secure, they don't need to go around proving their strength. It's just, it's part of who they are.
Exactly. It's that whole like fake it till you make it thing, but in relationships, which is kind of icky.
It can be. And that brings us to the potential for manipulation here, which is a big
Bah.
part of what we're talking about.
And speaking of manipulative, this next one really surprised me, Brady. Subtle jealousy. Like they actually recommend trying to make your ex jealous. Is that even a real thing, or is this just asking for trouble?
I mean, jealousy is a real emotion, right? It usually comes from insecurity, like you're afraid of losing something important to you.
So you're basically poking at those insecurities on purpose, which feels, I don't know, kind of wrong. Like, even if it works, is that how you want someone to feel? Insecure and threatened.
Exactly. Healthy relationships are all about trust and security, not mind games or trying to get a reaction out of someone.
Totally. You might get their attention, but is it worth it in the long run?
Right. And that leads to a bigger issue with all of this, even the advice that doesn't seem as manipulative. Like, if you're only doing it to get your ex back, why? Was this even a good relationship to begin with? Maybe you're just clinging to something that's not good for either of you anymore.
Wow, deep. It's like, are you trying to get the person back or just the idea of them, that validation of them choosing you?
Exactly.
Hmm.
And that's where we can find some genuinely good advice. See, even though this guide is about getting an ex back, there are some things here that apply to any relationship, romantic or not. Things like having a fulfilling life, pursuing passions, becoming more confident. Those are all good things no matter what.
Okay, let's play a game. I read some more of this guide, and you tell me if it's good advice for anyone or just straight up get your ex back manipulation. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, how about never mention getting back together, let them make the first move. Thoughts?
That's a tough one. It does sound manipulative, like you're playing hard to get. But there's also something to be said about letting the other person take the lead, especially after a breakup. It gives them the space to figure out what they want without pressure.
So maybe good advice, but the reason behind it could be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's about respecting their decision and letting them figure things out, not just like withholding affection to get your way.
Okay, I get it. How about show growth and transformation? You've become someone even better than they remember.
Okay, that's a good one. Personal growth should be a lifelong goal, not just to get someone back. Becoming more mature and self-aware, that's attractive no matter what kind of relationship it is, romantic, friendship, even at work.
I love that. So it's about being the best version of yourself for you, not for someone else.
You got it.
Last one, create emotional and physical attraction. Make them remember why they were drawn to you in the first place. Lay it on me.
Again, think about why you're doing it. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, that's important, Phil. If it happens to make someone interested, that's a bonus, not the main goal.
It's like they say, living well is the best revenge. But in this case, it's not about revenge. It's about investing in yourself and your happiness.
Exactly. That kind of energy, it's magnetic. It doesn't matter if you want a new partner, reconnect with an ex, or just live your life.
So I have to ask, can you ever really get someone back, or is it more like you're different people now in a totally different place? Like, is it even the same relationship anymore at that point?
That's what it comes down to, right? It's like, what's that saying? You can't step in the same river twice. It's
Yeah.
true. People change. Relationships change. It's more about, can you have something new with who you both are now?
Not hitting rewind, more like, is there a different spark now, today? I like that.
Exactly. But you need honesty. You need to really look at yourself, and you got to be willing to let go of the past.
Yeah.
If you two are meant to be together again, it should be because you've both grown, in ways that actually make sense together, not because of some like trick from a guide.
So less about winning and more about, like, honestly rediscovering that connection.
100%.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what we were saying about personal growth. Knowing what you need, why you do things, the patterns you fall into, that's huge in any relationship.
It's almost like this whole get your ex back thing. It's secretly about you, about self-discovery, having better relationships, all of it.
I couldn't agree more. In the end, you are the one thing that's the same in all your relationships. You're the common denominator. So putting in the work on yourself, on your own happiness, that's the foundation.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the takeaway? What do you want to leave our listeners with today?
Breakups are tough, but they can be an amazing chance to learn and grow. Take this time to reflect, really understand yourself, and decide what a good, healthy relationship means to you. Seriously, that's way more valuable than any list of steps.
Because sometimes the best way to move on is to become, the person you'd want to be with. And hey, who knows, right? That might be exactly what brings a genuine, loving relationship into your life.
Now you're talking. You've got to match what's going on inside with what you want on the outside. And honestly, that's a journey worth taking wherever it leads.